we have Tim Brown here with Porter Ramsey. He's one of the senior lawyers over at the office there, and I just took a moment to sit down with Tim before we grabbed a quick lunch. Tim, I've got a couple of questions from some of our clients, and I thought you'd be able to help them out by broadening that across the province here. Tim, when subjects are removed by a buyer and an offer goes firm and the deposit has been received, our office sends over a conveyancing letter and package to your office. Can you speak to what that could entail and a little bit of information as to the process that your office undertakes in order to prepare for the meeting with the purchaser or the seller in that matter?
Sure. The package that comes from the broker's office generally includes all of the relevant contract documents, the original contract of purchase and sale, any addendums that accompany the original contract, subject removal documents. So if you've had subjects in your contract subject to financing or what have you, when those subjects are removed, they're of course made part of a subject removal document, which is signed by the buyer. So that what we get from the broker's office is a complete package of all of the documents that contractually relate to your purchase or sale, depending on what it is.
So once all of that has been put together, what is the next step? Because all too often we get the inquiry, what happens next? When do we meet the lawyer? When does the lawyer phone us? What does that look like, knowing completion is 4 weeks out?
Okay, so the first thing we do, of course, is we open a physical file in our office. And then we, depending on how far out the closing date is, and depending on whether it's a purchase or a sale, we take different actions. If it's a purchase, we generally wait for mortgage instructions from the bank on the assumption that there is a mortgage, which are the instructions sent from your lender to us to draft up the mortgage documents. So we open a file, we contact the buyer to get their particulars. We need full legal names, we need their social insurance numbers, addresses, so on and so forth. Ask questions about how they want to see their name and occupation appear on title, get that information from them so that we have that in anticipation of the closing. And then we will do a tax search, find out what the taxes are on the property to be able to adjust the taxes as between buyer and seller. We would look at the title, of course, which presumably is already done before the subject removal, but if it hasn't, if there's anything that needs to be dealt with on the title, whether it's usually a financial charge of some sort, then we put the seller's lawyer on undertakings to discharge that. So from the time that we receive that package from the broker, we then, depending again on when the closing date is, start making steps to get to the closing. And then we actually, again, if we're on the purchasing side, we prepare the actual transfer document. A lot of people don't know that, but the purchaser prepares the transfer that's signed by the vendor. So we prepare that, we prepare the statement of adjustments, which tells you as the buyer how much money you need to come up with for the adjustment for taxes, for legal fees, possibly for title insurance, for all the money that you're going to need on the closing date, minus your mortgage money. And so we draft up those documents, and then we have the purchaser in to sign. And at that time, we go through the various numbers just so everybody's on the same page as to how much is needed for closing.
Okay, so one question, I should say it's a statement. So when I prepare my clients to get ready to do a closing, I always recommend that they get their house insurance 30 days out. Now, is house insurance a standard requirement by the lender when getting a mortgage, or is that just from time to time?
Universally.
Okay, so to protect our clients,
lenders will ask for an insurance policy, which is the responsibility of the purchaser, and that's one of the items as well. In that interim period, once we receive the contract, that we'll reach out to the buyer saying, okay, you also need to arrange for insurance. Please go and see your insurance broker and make arrangements to have that in place on the closing date.
Perfect. Thank you, Tim. Really appreciate that information. That is very, very important, as many of our clients just don't understand the process post subject removal. Thank you.
Happy to help.